Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Maverick here with episode 6 of Code Geass. So last episode we were introduced to a couple of princesses, Princess Yuffie as well as Princess Cornelia, who apparently does have some sort of involvement in Lelouch's mom's killings, right? At least that's what Clovis said, and thanks for reminding me. The name Cornelia did seem kind of familiar to me, but I wasn't entirely sure about everything. There's like way too many names being thrown around now, so do excuse me. Oh, speaking of names as well, thank you guys for also reminding me that it's not actually pronounced Cici, it's pronounced Situ, which, I guess I should have paid a little bit more attention, but I think I was talking during the scene where they actually said her name, so, it kinda happens, right? In any case, we ended with Suzaku entering the same school as Lelouch and the others, which is definitely a feat for him, I would think, considering he's not actually a Britannian, right? So I presume this episode will get a lot more school life and whatnot, but we shall see, right? At the very least, we will see a little bit more interactions between Lelouch and Suzaku, and of course, the ironic situation is that, well, they are both classmates and best friends as well. They are actually on opposite sides of the story, let's just say. So, without further ado, let's get into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh. The Emperor? I presume that's the Emperor, right? Your Majesty? Talking with Clovis. The Emperor of the Britannia Empire. The most powerful man in the world. Something like that, anyways. Let's see. How much do I want to bet that Suzaku is going to be a little bit ostracized at the beginning here? Maybe even not just the beginning. I presume with the entire storyline of, Suzaku wanting to integrate both Britannians and Japanese into just, citizens of the Britannian Empire, we're probably going to get a storyline which talks about, the initial rejection and eventual acceptance of him in the school, or something like that. I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? The stolen mask. Like, how stupid can you guys be if they're allowing him to be here? What's Lelouch gonna do? Nothing? Nope. He's like, let's talk in secret. Oh, yeah, it would make sense that Suzaku knows about his actual name. I don't think he can enroll here. He's probably sent here. No? Yes, my lord. Yeah, that's like, I don't know, World War II era armaments or something. Suzaku? Yeah. Wow. She can even, over 7 years, recognizing someone from their hand. Engineering, yeah. For that Lloyd guy, right? You purebloods. So I guess this guy isn't a pureblood. That's kind of funny. Wouldn't it be... Wouldn't it be less suspicious if he was friends with him? I mean, considering that royalty probably shouldn't mingle with... Oh, or is it the fact that Suzaku is actually of high rank, and that's why That's why he was given the title of Honorary Britannian? Or is it because of his work in the... Or because of his work in the army? I guess that scene over there is them trying to mess with Suzaku's stuff. Pizza Hut? That directly? Wow. Well, since they say the stolen mask, so is his mask going to be stolen? Oh, the cat. Seriously? Out of... Don't tell me the cat is going to steal it. Yep, there it is. Do we have to go? And then it's going to be a situation where somebody sees it? You know, I agree, Lelouch. You've got to be kidding me. Like, seriously, out of all the different situations, we had to go with such a stupid one. Yeah. And they're gonna be like, oh, what are you hiding, Lelouch? And nobody sees this cat walking around? Oh. Really? You're gonna use your abilities like this? You are abusing your 40 way too much, girl. Okay, looks like she's very popular. Okay. Okay. Oh, is Callan going to see? Yeah, she has to act like her frail self. Yeah. You want a kiss from her? Oh, and then Lelouch is gonna be like, oh, why is it these two? I mean, don't get me wrong, this is entertaining as hell, but this is like so ridiculous. Every single memory from you two are from 7 years ago. Ooh. Oh. Are you gonna? And it's because you keep up this kind of appearances that Okay. How's... It's gonna be like, you two are too reckless or something like that. Oh? Oh. That was way more wholesome than I expected. This is gonna be the start of him being accepted into the school and all that. I'm guessing... Yeah. I was like... Holy shit, the 98th Emperor? And the Holy... The 98th Emperor. And also Holy Britannian Empire. So does that mean that they also took the name from the Holy Roman Empire as well? Oh, the EU still exists. Yeah, the Chinese Federation, eh? I guess, you know, in this kind of context, I'm sure that Japan, or Area 11, is a very important strategic stronghold for the Britannian Empire. It's like literally on the front line against the Chinese Federation. Oh, you don't know who he is? Well, I guess you wouldn't know. Alright, see you guys after this. Oh, I'm going to watch the picture story right now. So, I'll see you guys after this. Alright, so let's watch the picture drama together. This is the third one, and it's apparently titled Episode 6.75. So, 3, 2, 1, play. Okay. Yeah, it was bonding already. And he's in love. I don't have any family because you're disowned? Ah, so Lloyd, okay. You have full authority. Oh, really? Oh? Oh? Ah. Oh, hi. Do you have like a fetish for making a family or something? Nah, I get it. It's wholesome, but no, actually, never mind. I think she definitely has a fetish for that. I guess you can't really call it a fetish, right? But a dream of that, let's say. Okay, I have no idea what he's humming. Anyways, see you guys after this. Okay, so this was an interesting little episode, right? Much more on the entertaining and fun side of things than anything else, but it did exactly play into the entire situation of Suzaku initially being ostracized and gradually getting accepted and all that, and of course, Lelouch played a huge role in Suzaku's eventual acceptance from all the other students at this school, at this academy. Now, with that being said, I wasn't expecting this entire situation to be resolved so quickly. Well, I say resolved, but obviously it's not entirely resolved, right? I'm sure that there is still some outliers who have reservations about the entire situation, such as the green-haired girl who, sorry, I can't remember her name, the one who was talking with Nunali and all that. And indeed, she does seem to be the sort who will do some other investigation into the whole situation, maybe try and look at, what's the relation between Lelouch and Suzaku and whatnot, which is probably going to be turning into like a nuisance for Lelouch in the future. But we'll see how far that goes, right? Now, honestly, for this episode, well, let me say this first. I actually like the fact that they went ahead and got this entire situation out of the way just in one episode, right? I don't really want to go through the multiple episodes of Suzaku going ostracized, and then it's just a nasty situation that we're gonna have to spend time on, right? I would much prefer something like this where they just moved the situation out of the way so we can focus on the more fun and entertaining parts of stuff. Now, with that being said, though, this episode's setup was definitely really ridiculous, right? Just as Lelouch said, of all things, the situation that you came up with was that a cat wandered into their residence, managed to get, the cat managed to wander into the residence, managed to get its head onto the mask and whatnot, and then managed to go around and, cause chaos, and courtesy of the student council president Millie as well, the entire setup does seem kind of forced in a way. But I guess in the end, though, no, this is just a light-hearted little fun episode. Nothing really serious came out of all this. Like the situation between Lelouch and Suzaku, the fact that Suzaku saved Lelouch, and then Lelouch used that opportunity to integrate him into the school, into the student council, and say that he's a friend of his. I think that would have happened regardless. Like it's just a question of time, right? Lelouch probably would have found a good opportunity to do that as well. Sure, they're protective of Lelouch's old identity and whatnot, but I think Lelouch, he definitely seems the kind of guy who will try and figure something out, right? So anyways, we got the entire situation at least shelved for now, and the rest is just to see, what other kind of hidden problems crop up from the various other people who don't accept this entire situation. Beyond that, nothing really important or serious happened this episode. I guess at the beginning we did see Clovis's paintings, right? And then we do see a young Lelouch, a young Nunali as well, and I do have to say that Lelouch certainly looks very much like his younger self. In fact, this is something that to me is kind of a suspension of disbelief. Like, how in the world did they not manage to figure out that Lelouch is actually, Lelouch, the Prince Lelouch of old, right? Considering that he didn't even change his name, right? He literally named himself Lelouch. You would think that for something as important as this, they would probably like comb through all the records or whatnot, or at least the fact that he has the same name as the deceased prince would probably be cause of some concern, right? So I don't know. You could say it's lost in the shuffle of bureaucracy and all that, but I just think it's kind of like for instance, the first time when he enrolled within the school, right, and the name Lelouch popped up, wasn't there like at least a few questioning looks towards him? It's not like he looks all that different from him when he was young, right? So I don't know, but I'm not gonna go too far into that. Let's just shelve it again for now. The fact that Clovis did have that kind of painting, right, and what Yuffie was saying about her brother being so kind-hearted, having such gentle colors and whatnot. I do feel like this is going to play a larger part in the future as well. The difference in perspective, right? Looking at someone from the perspective of 11, of a Japanese, of the oppressed or whatnot, versus looking at the same person from that of friends and family. The differences in character, right? Because again, not everybody is inherently absolutely evil or absolutely good or something like that. You do have people are multi-faced, right? Depending on what kind of role you're playing in front of what kind of people. So it wouldn't surprise me if we were to get more of that in the future as well. Gradually, certainly Lelouch has his reasons for hating the empire, hating the royalty, and so on and so forth. But I do suspect that we are going to get an equal amount of the people who we generally more identify with or are more okay with, and then those that are we consider enemies and whatnot. And to be honest here, like looking at this from a third party perspective and everything, I think I mentioned already back in episode 1 or 2 that the entire situation of so the members of royalty having infighting against who is going to succeed the empire or something like that, that's par for the course, right? So as a sort of like a historian or from a more neutral perspective, unless we want to specifically side with Lelouch from a more personal perspective and whatnot, it's just par for the course, right? And then, speaking of this, since we're into this situation anyways, the speech by the Emperor at the very end there. So, there are a little few nuggets of information there that I feel may or may not be interesting, like the fact that it's called the Holy Britannian Empire. That's obviously a play on the Holy Roman Empire, so, something that happened in the past and whatnot. Britannia certainly is, it's British, right? So, England, the British Empire and whatnot, but having the moniker of the Holy Roman Empire or the Holy something Empire, right? That would probably mean that it probably goes even further back than just the age of exploration and all that. Especially when we consider that this is the 98th emperor. Sure, you could probably have a few in-betweens who might have only ruled for like a few years or heck, even a few months, that kind of thing, with all the fighting going on and whatnot. But still, having 98 generations of empires, this probably means that this empire goes back far back, right? And the other kind of interesting thing about all this is still that the EU exists, right? So we have because if you think about it, the Holy Roman Empire consists of basically all the Germanic states and Germany, France, and whatnot. Well, maybe not France, but you guys know what I mean, like Central Europe, right? Actually, is that called Central Europe? Anyways, you guys know what I'm saying. Like France and Germany and Italy, that portion of everything. And of course, England as well, right? And yet the EU still exists. So I guess it consists of the rest of the European, the rest of the European countries and whatnot. I would have thought that the Britannian Empire, basically conquered all of Europe and whatnot. But hey, that's something, right? And the fact that the Chinese Federation exists, probably that's going to be like a major military force in the future. I don't know whether we're going to only have... You know what? Actually, no. Thinking about it right now, if Lelouch is going to pull off a sort of like, internal unrest, a civil war and whatnot, I do have a feeling that these other global major players, like the EU, like the Chinese Federation, are probably going to play a role in the future as well, because this would definitely be an opportunity that they would want to capitalize on, right? So I think with that much, we can infer they're probably going to play an important role in the future. In fact, we might even get into some situations where there'll be like alliance offers and whatnot, with those of the resistance, those in Japanese, the 11s and whatnot, with the other major powers of the world. So I guess that's something we can look forward to. And then finally, I don't really want to get into the politics of things and whatnot, or the philosophy of things, but we do see like a distinct difference in how these three major powers are playing out, right? I guess maybe you could say it's I don't want to go into it. I was going to say that it seems to be like the difference between socialism and communism, and then versus every guy for himself and whatnot, but you can make whatever you make of the situation, which might kind of be more similar to capitalism today, but without actually learning more about the actual workings of the well, no, actually, wait. I guess you can't really say it's a capitalist country, because the defining thing about the Holy Britannian Empire is that there is still a class system, right? There is still a hereditary system in place here. So, anyways, it's getting kind of late here. I don't have the exact terminology in my head and whatnot, but all I'm saying is, this is definitely something to look forward to in the future as well, to see like the differences in political ideologies and whether that also makes, whether that plays a major role in all of this. Inherently, I don't particularly think what the Emperor is saying is wrong. It's just the way that he says it definitely seems a little bit off-putting to people, right? I mean, even in this modern world, right? Even in a world where, or even in a country that does not have a class system and whatnot, you taking away the fact that you might be born into nobility or whatnot, you still have a difference in environment, right? Some are born poor, some are born rich and whatnot, and even people themselves, even if we take away their former status and whatnot, just genetics, right? Natural human differences. Some people are just more athletic, more stronger. Some people are smarter and whatnot. There is definitely a difference here. So I don't think in terms of ability, people should be equalized and should all receive the same treatment. It's more a case of equal opportunity, right? But then, of course, we get into even more complicated matters, like, for instance, can you really say it's equal opportunity if someone from a rich family and someone from a poor family competes? They might have access to different resources and all that. And, anyways, let's see how this series eventually, what its take on the situation is all I'm saying. So, there you go. That's it for this episode, and I will see you guys next time as well. Stay tuned, and bye-bye.